Hi, I'm Sandra. I'm glad that you checked in with us today on sessions. This is session number 4 of How I Learned to Love Myself. This is an ongoing process. It has been for me. It's not something that you learn in 6 or 8 lessons or even 20 necessarily. At least that's not the way it worked for me. I am sharing my experience because for years of my life, I realized after the fact, I did not love myself. I had low self esteem, even though it would appear to many people that I had very high self esteem. Nope, inside I didn't. And inside, for much of my life, I was very depressed. Didn't know that until later I had a word for it, but I did not feel good about myself. In some cases, not at all. I am not a therapist. This is a lived experience that I am sharing with you, my experience. I'm a biology teacher by training. I loved cutting up frogs and fishes and seeing the insides of animals. I liked that. I know a lot of people don't or didn't. I liked it. I loved the observation part of biology. And I think in the last session, session 3, I mentioned that was a key part of a connection that I've recently made between my interest in biology and in my study, adventure, experience of learning to love myself, because you need to be aware. You need to at least observe what it is in your life, in yourself, that you're not happy with, in order to maybe decide to change it. Observation is key. Last session, I brought up a topic that I really want to explore more today. It was actually an example. We were talking about the shoulds. Should, ought to, supposed to, have to, got to, need to, must, and better, as in I better buy milk. And the pressure that those words sometimes place on people in different parts of our body, as it turns out, for many people. And we've done an exercise in one of the recent sessions about substituting one of those words, the should or the have to, in your life, and putting in the word choice or choose. I choose to do my homework, or I choose not to do my homework. There are options in every situation. There are options. If you're operating from a should, as I was so much of my life, I wasn't looking at options and making choices, conscious choices of which option I wanted to choose. So last session I mentioned, for instance, let's say a 6-year-old kid getting an invitation to a birthday party, and the child doesn't want to go. And the adult around, mom, dad, grandma, whoever was taking care of the child, said, "Oh, you need to go. You need to go. What, Tommy's expecting you, and people will wonder, and you'll be sorry if you don't go, and people will." Grandma just names all the negative results. I'm not using the word consequences on purpose, because consequences usually implies negativity. I want to say results. I wanted to learn to do that for myself, to realize that there are results that could be positive or could be negative for the different options available in any situation. So regarding this potential birthday party, I'll just call the boy Tommy. I'll just make it a boy. We'll name it Tommy. Tommy doesn't want to go. The adult says, "Oh, you need to go." A helpful thing to do, I think, perhaps, let's say for children that are 6 years old, in that general range, who, because we want people. I mean, I know I've got kind of started 2 or 3 different threads here, but I'm sorry, that's just the way it's going. We want people to grow up to be responsible. You probably have heard someone say, or maybe you've said it, I know I have, so-and-so isn't very responsible. Maybe they leave their tools or their toys out in the rain. Maybe they don't do the homework. Many, many things come up in life that we call someone irresponsible. They haven't learned to be responsible, and we take that as a negative in general in our society. We talk about it not just with youth, with teenagers, we talk about it with adults. So-and-so is not responsible. They don't take responsibility for their decisions, for instance. Taking responsibility is an attribute that is usually looked upon in a positive fashion. Well, that has to be taught. Taking responsibility has to be taught. We're not born knowing that. So, back to the birthday party choice for Tommy. So Tommy is sitting there with this idea. He doesn't want to go, and the adult really thinks he ought to go. Remember, the ought is one of those shoulds. And maybe helps Tommy learn, or identify, I should say, what are the likely positive results of going, Tommy? Well, maybe I'd have a good time. Maybe I'd enjoy seeing some of my friends, and maybe I'd like the ice cream and cake, but I really don't want to go. Why don't you want to go? Listening is important. Listening to another person. Tom, explain to me why you don't want to go. Well, I might not really know all the kids there. He might invite a bunch of people that I don't know, and I'd feel kind of left out of maybe the games. And I might not even like the cake and ice cream that he has, because, I don't like everything. And maybe the present that I take won't be very nice. It won't be as nice as somebody else's present. And I don't want to go. Okay. I think these are interesting examples. This is an interesting example to think about. Helping a child learn to be aware consciously of their choice and the likely results of their choice, and then to watch and see what happens. Let the child make that decision, because number one, you're letting them know that you are listening to that person's feelings, concerns, thoughts. You're validating that person, and that is that's key. I didn't have that a lot in my life growing up. I would have liked that, but we can't undo some things. We can't undo anything, really. So by saying, for the adult to say, okay, Tommy, you're making the choice. I will support you in your choice. And after the party, we'll talk about how it went and how you feel, and I'll be here for you. Okay? Well, not after the party, because he's deciding not to go. Excuse me. Okay. So, actually, Tommy does not go to the party. And so let's say the party was on Saturday, and he then goes to school on Monday, and he hears everybody talking about the party, and he comes home in tears. Mom, Dad, I wish I'd gone to the party. They had so much fun. Everybody was just talking about how nice, how wonderful it was, the games they played. You know what? They even had a pony for us to ride. And I didn't go, and I didn't get to ride the pony. And I'm so sorry. said you thought it would be a good thing, but I didn't listen. Why didn't you make me do it? I think we all know that that's very likely what could have happened. And for purpose of this example that I'm using, that's the way it was. He didn't go, they had a pony, everybody had a good time, and now he's sorry. So, just to put in an aside, this whole process of learning to love ourselves is like having a big ball of yarn, and you've got pieces coming out of it, little ends of different pieces of yarn in this ball. It's not a single strand. There are many different strands. So for just a moment, we're going to pull the strand of pain. Life has many moments of pain. And one of them happens to be sometimes when we made a decision, and now he made a decision. He made a choice. And now he's feeling the pain of the results, or at least the results that seem important to him. But there was a pony he didn't get to ride. They had fun, and he wasn't there. And now he's wanting to blame. He's wanting to put the responsibility on the adult who let him make that decision. Why didn't you make me go? And this is where the adult has to be an adult, in my opinion. Has to be a mature, helpful, supportive adult who is going completely to acknowledge his pain in the same way that you acknowledged his decision. By just saying, I hear you, honey. You're really sad. You wish you had made a different decision. I can't fix it. I let you make the decision you wanted to. You wanted not to go, and I decided you were grown up enough to make your decision. It was okay. I thought it would have been better for you to go, but I'm not in your body. And so it's one of those hard moments in life, sweetheart, when we realize that we made a decision and we don't like the results of our decision. And so what you can do as a young person, growing up and learning to be, at some point, you'll be a grown-up, and you'll have other decisions along the way. Many, many, many decisions. And some will have results that are very sad and painful, just like this one. What you can do, what I want you to do, is to just say that, make the statement, I made the decision. If I had it to do over, I wish I would have chosen to go. If you can say something like that, can you make that statement? Can you say that, Tommy? Can you just say, I made my decision, and you let me make my decision, and if I could do it over, I would choose, if the opportunity comes again, let's put it that way, if the opportunity comes again to go to a birthday party, now you will have more experience behind you that they might have something extra fun, and they might not. All of life is just taking it moment by moment. The important part that I want you to see right now is that you were in the driver's seat of your life by making that choice. We let you do it. We let you make the choice because you are learning to make decisions. And we want you to learn to make decisions and to learn from the results that sometimes there's pain, unfortunately. I'll hold you. I'll just give you a nice big hug. And if you want to cry some more, that's okay, because I know it's painful. I love you. I love you, Tommy. You did a good job. You did a good grown-up job of seeing that you don't like the decision you made. And maybe next time you'll want to make a different decision. Okay, now to the adults watching this. I think this example is just, I think it's wonderful to help grown-ups see that how a way that seems to me legitimate to start helping kids learn to be responsible. They can't grow up responsible unless we help them learn. And that means standing by their pain if they make decisions that they are not helpful with, that they are not happy with. Okay, this is the end of session 4. I'm glad you were here. From this session today, I want you to take what you like and leave the rest. Honor yourself in your daily activities and your choices that you make. Happy trails. Goodbye.